Radical Democrat Keybo Taylor or Republican Mike Baker? Which of these two candidates for Gwinnett Sheriff will protect your Second Amendment rights, and which of these would trample on your Second Amendment rights? We're going to break this race down for you right now. Hey everyone, Alex Dorr here from Georgia Gun Owners, and one of the first questions you're going to ask yourself is, why is Georgia Gun Owners worrying about the race for a sheriff's department? Aren't they concerned with state races for legislators in Atlanta, those who are trying to pass good bills or pass bad bills? Why do you care about the sheriff's office? Well, I'll tell you. It's because we have had calls, dozens and dozens of calls, from our members in Gwinnett County asking us, should we care? And the answer is yes, because at the end of the day, it's the sheriff's office that is going to enforce the laws passed or refuse to enforce laws passed by the Atlanta legislature. So yes, the sheriff's office is extremely important to our Second Amendment rights. And so we said, hey, we're going to break down these candidates and help you guys decide how important it is and help you guys make an informed decision before you go voting. So let's jump right into it. Now, when it comes to the sheriff's office, these candidates don't have a voting record. If they were someone that was an incumbent in Atlanta, we could pull up previous pro-gun bills and previous anti-gun bills and see, were they in support of, were they in opposition to? Did they vote yes? Did they vote no? Did they offer amendments? We could build the factual evidence for you to tell you what does their record show. That's not the case with the sheriff's office race. So what we did was we came up with a questionnaire and we sent the same 9 questions to both candidates, basically asking them, hey, how do you view the role as a sheriff when it comes to our Second Amendment rights? How would you use the office to protect our rights? And I'm going to tell you, Mike Baker completed his survey within 24 hours and he completed it 100% pro-gun. That means Mike Baker wants to protect the rights of the citizens of Gwinnett County. I'm going to give you a couple of examples just to see how heavy, how important this is. First off, we asked Mike Baker about the Second Amendment Preservation Act. That's Georgia Gun Owners' flagship bill in Atlanta. And it says to all the Georgia sheriffs and all the Georgia police chiefs and all the Georgia state troopers, hey, you're paid for by Georgia tax dollars. You're elected by Georgia citizens. We want you to only enforce Georgia's laws when it comes to our Second Amendment rights. Whatever Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the radical Democrats in Washington, D.C. come out with, whatever they pass, leave it to federal agents only to enforce it in Georgia. You're our police officers. You're supposed to enforce our laws and our laws only. Mike Baker says, that sounds great. Those are just great guardrails for my sheriff's department, but any future sheriff as well. And there are radical police chiefs who need these guardrails put up so they don't enforce Joe Biden's gun control and Kamala Harris's gun control. So Mike Baker says he's in support of it, and he'd even come to Atlanta to testify in committee if he was available. So very good answer. He opposes red flag laws. I'm going to be very quick on this one. If you're not familiar with what a red flag law is, it's where hearsay evidence can be given to a liberal judge in a secret courtroom where they will then decide whether or not to have your guns taken away because they think you're a danger to yourself or to others. Let me just say that another way. Your crazy nut job neighbor can file false claims with a liberal judge saying they think you're dangerous, and that judge will have a secret meeting and he'll say, yeah, based on hearsay evidence, I think they are dangerous. Gwinnett County Sheriff's deputies, go seize this man's guns until he can prove to us that he's not dangerous. No charges, no conviction, not a criminal. At the point that they come into your house, you're a law-abiding citizen who's never been convicted of anything. Mike Baker says, absolutely not. With no conviction, you're not a criminal, and I will not enforce a red flag law should Georgia ever have them, and Georgia Gun Owners is fighting like mad to make sure we never do. Then we asked Mike about ATF task forces. Would his department, as sheriff, work with the ATF to set up task forces to target and harass law-abiding gun owners in Georgia? We've heard of numerous cases this summer in South Atlanta where we have had members who have been raided by the ATF with bogus search warrants, had their guns taken from them under the guise of an investigation, and after tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees, they get their guns returned to them and no charges ever filed. They've had their doors ripped off their houses, flashbangs thrown in. Absolutely crazy. We'll tell you all more about it later as soon as it's 100% cleared up. This is ridiculous and un-American. We asked Mike, would you work with the ATF on these task forces? Absolutely not. I don't serve two masters. If Gwinnett County elects me as sheriff, I work for Gwinnett County. I don't work for the ATF. I want nothing to do with them. Then we asked him the big question. Say something totally crazy happened in Georgia and the Democrats had control and they passed a ban on AR-15s. Mike, would you enforce an AR-15 ban or a high-capacity magazine ban or anything else like that? Would you enforce the confiscation of it? He said, no. That violates the Second Amendment. Our firearms were never meant for hunting. They're meant as the final check and balance for tyranny. I would have nothing to do with taking away anyone's firearms in Gwinnett County. So solid answer from Mike Baker. Let's talk about incumbent Keybo Taylor. Now, Keybo has only been elected for 4 years. And I must say, as a citizen of Gwinnett County for much longer than his term, my belief is crime has only gotten worse in Gwinnett County, and I wonder what that's about. But again, we sent Keybo the exact same questionnaire that we sent Mike Baker. I have the timestamp of when I sent it to him. It was at September 17th at 9:22 a.m. Sent at high importance with a very clear subject line saying immediate attention, candidate survey enclosed. Keybo has refused to answer that survey. That alone gives us the answer. Because if you won't answer the survey, we have to assume, we must assume, and we do assume, that your answer is hostile to the Second Amendment and you don't want our members and supporters to know. And that would mean that Keybo Taylor opposes the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Think about it like this. Georgia gun owners is crushing every gun control bill that they're filing in Atlanta. If Keybo Taylor wants to enforce anti-gun laws, his only chance of doing that is if it's done federally or by executive order. If he wants to turn Gwinnett County into the next crime-ridden DeKalb or Fulton County, if he wants to turn Gwinnett County into Chicago or New York-style crime, he's going to need federal law. And so he would oppose SEPA, which would tell him he can't enforce federal law. We asked about supporting red flag laws, and he wouldn't answer, which must mean that he is, in fact, in support of red flag laws. He would take away Gwinnett County citizens' guns when they've never been charged and they've never been convicted of a crime. ATF task forces, which, by the way, very lucrative when the federal government comes in and sets up task forces, all sorts of cool toys and money given to the department to help facilitate these task forces. Keybo Taylor would have no problem setting up task forces with the ATF to harass law-abiding gun owners. And therefore, he would also enforce an AR-15 ban. Now knowing what you do about Mike Baker and Keybo Taylor, I hope you'll share this video with your friends and family and shooting buddies, your co-workers, folks from church. Let them know what's on the line for Gwinnett County. And then like this video, share it on your own Facebook page as well. Help us beat the algorithm and let gun voters in Gwinnett County know just what's at stake. We will be breaking down more races for you in the days ahead.